Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, Down the Rabbit Hole News. I am the Rabbit. Look, shout out to you guys. Thank you guys for being here, for subscribing and supporting my channel. Listen, yesterday we reported on these photos that were released by the Daily Mail UK. All right. Now, I'm going to tell you, I was initially shocked by these photos, but I started sitting back and really asking myself a couple questions that have not been answered quite yet. And let me start by saying the first red flag that I have is this article. The information that's being put out here by this article specifically. For example, who the fuck is Fred Kelly? The article basically says that this is from Fred Kelly's bombshell investigation. Who is Fred Kelly? I started looking to see if this Fred Kelly had like a YouTube channel, a TikTok, or whatever. And what I found was that Fred Kelly's actually the person that wrote this article for the Daily Mail. Why would they release these photos of Liam Payne? Why these photos? How do they even get a hold of these photos? I was able to find a writer by the name of Fred Kelly who works for the Daily Mail, right? And like I said, I got curious about the intent behind the article and the intent behind the photos, which made me want to look into like why was this released the way that it was and who gave these photos to Fred Kelly. Because personally, I believe that there is this shaping the narrative of what happened to Liam Payne through these photos specifically, and that there are more people behind the powers that be. I mean, clearly, when we see these pictures, a lot of your comments in the last video were like, why are they showing these photos? And I had the same reaction. But I also felt like you can understand intent based on what a person is releasing. So the bigger question for me is they release these photos, but whose name are they trying to clear by releasing these photos? Because by looking at these photos, most definitely there should be more people charged in the death of Liam Payne. But I also feel like there is this shaping of the narrative of who don't we see in the photos? We don't see Rogelio Nores. We don't see Kate Cassidy. We don't see these people, right? So by essentially showing this, who are they trying to clear? That's the question that I think we need to ask. Were these photos released to defame Liam Payne's character and what they were saying he was acting out, doing the most? Or were these photos released to clear somebody's name? What would be the need to release these photos? None of this is by accident, in my opinion. Neither was Liam Payne's death. And notice how the article is giving a very specific timeline, but is yet to answer a couple questions that we have about the 911 call. Now, I will say this. I did learn something about the 911 call. It sounds like there was a first 911 call before the second 911 call. So the entire 911 call is still up for question. Was it released? Was it not released? I went back and heard it again. And based on what Esteban, who placed the 911 call, is saying, was that he initially tried to call the first time and it got disconnected. Now, that was something that even I missed while reviewing this call. But let me ask this question. Why isn't the first 911 call released? Especially because if you review articles from the events, you will find a specific narrative that's been put out there that the first 911 call before it got cut off said this. The Clarín article reads, Liam Payne dead, calls from the hotel to 911 claiming a room was being trashed. At about 1704, which would be military time, 504, a call came in from the hotel to the emergency number indicating that a man was causing damage in a room. Communication cut off. So that would be that there was one 911 call before the second one, right? There was another alert dialogue because the guest was locked up and drugged. Moments later, the former member of the band One Direction was found dead. So the question that I have is, why didn't they release the first 911 call and only the second? Okay. The other question that I have, why did they lie in the 911 call? They said they couldn't get into the room. They said it on the second 911 call that they couldn't get into the room. The operator asked if they could get into the room, and they said they could not get into the room. But clearly that's a lie, because you had two security and a masseuse carrying Liam Payne to where? His room. So then the dispatch, I thought this was a very interesting question. She says, correct. You wouldn't know any other details because you can't get in, right? Can't get in as in can't get in the room.
We had multiple encounters with Liam, multiple times, had come down to the lobby, was causing a disturbance, kept being escorted back up to his room. There was an incident where he was very frustrated and was smashing his laptop in the lobby. And then the final time he came back down, he actually passed out in the lobby of the hotel, looked like convulsing a little bit, and had to be physically taken back up to his room.
We know that that's wrong. We know that they were able to get in because if you listen to what some of the guests are saying, he was going in and out of the room, that at one point they were bringing him in and out. There are many inconsistencies with this 911 call. I stand by what I said. Even if we have a first 911 call, it doesn't change anything. It doesn't change that Casa Sur lied to the 911 operator. Nothing changes for this. This is what Clarín posted as the first 911 call. I'm calling from the Casa Sur Hotel in Palermo. We have a guest who is over the moon and is destroying the entire room. We need someone to come. Those were the words of the hotel manager to a 911 operator to alert them about the incident that was taking place on the third floor of the building on Costa Rica 6000. Communication between Esteban and the reception manager and the operator was then cut off, and the manager had to call again to extend his complaint in the audio that lasted 2 minutes and 32 seconds. So you can't say that the first 911 call didn't have enough information. It just happened to cut off. Why didn't the officials release the first 911 call and only the second? I went back to the photos that this Daily Mail Fred Kelly person released, and I'm looking to see whether had Liam Payne's Rolex watch already been missing at the time. Another point that was being made in the comments, which is basically the thought that Liam Payne had already passed away in these photos. Personally, I don't think that's the case. I think Liam Payne was alive during the taking of these photos. And I say this because if you look at these photos, he is sustaining his head. At the very least, that's what it looks like to me in these photos. But to me, if Liam was convulsing, this is not how you would treat somebody convulsing. Matter of fact, in the 911 emergency service call, why not tell the emergency services that Liam Payne is convulsing, that this person that you have staying at your hotel room is convulsing? That doesn't make sense, you guys. It just doesn't. Another question that I have about these photos is, where is the laptop? The time frame that's being given here, from the time that Liam was fine with Vans, he was out there being photographed, to suddenly Liam is breaking a laptop. Where was he breaking this laptop? Why isn't there more wedding guests in the area of where people were saying there was a lot of people, right? Didn't Roger NORES say that there was like 15 people in the lobby? Isn't this part of the lobby unless the lobby extends somewhere else and maybe this is a different side of the room? So where are these wedding guests? The other question that I have is, there was a statement that was put out there that Liam Payne had been seen sleeping in the lobby with a bottle of whiskey before his death. Where is this whiskey? Where in the lobby? Where did all of this happen? I was talking to my friend Julia. Shout out to Julia, who's been helping sort through some of this. And one of the things that we were talking about, and just the thought that going back to this Fred Kelly person, Fred Kelly Investigations, that suddenly is able to print this article specifically with the Daily Mail UK. If I was Rogelio Roger and I was being accused of abandonment, wow, what a perfect way to release some photos that I got from the hotel and put this out here at the hotel. To a certain degree, Rogelio Roger shouldn't be the only person that's being charged. It should be these hotel people, especially these people that are carrying him, that you would think maybe not may not have a duty of care, but they still dragged him and abandoned him in his room. People have different theories about what might have happened. And because we don't really have a clear answer, I think we're allowed to have different theories in a respectful way. One thing that I don't want to allow in my comments that did happen, you had some trolls talking about Liam just threw himself, which to me makes me feel like we have a lot of paid operatives in this chat, in this troll. And I would tell you, y'all don't engage with them. I don't engage with the trolls that have this idea that Liam Payne wanted to end his life, because to me, that tells me that you guys are really working very hard to change the narrative and to create a smear campaign out of what happened to Liam, and he's not here to defend himself. I will say this, the way Liam was manhandled, and if we're expected to believe that somehow this vindicates Rogelio Nordes or any other party, it really doesn't. It makes me question why these photos were released. Who are they trying to clear? You have to question the source. That's what you have to do. I'll see you guys on the next one. Let me know your thoughts in the comments, and I will be back. Again, I have a feeling that we're going to start hearing a lot more from the prosecutor's office, La Fiscalía. I'll talk to you guys later. Bye, guys.